officer is we split them in half. So, like for example, you have the left side of the O-line on one team, the right side on the other, and then of the second group, vice versa.
So you tried to make it pretty even?
Tried to make it as even as we could. And then, but with that said, there's some depth issues in O-line, so they'll all be in the same jersey, so we can plug in one or two. But for the most part, we're trying to, have it even. And the running backs, of course, we have three. So one's on one team, one's on the other, and then James Williams plays on both teams. And then, so we're trying to have it as even as we can. So Bender and Falk's on one team, Bender's on another, and then Helinski's on Bender's team the first half, Falk's team the second half, and then defense accordingly too. Have half the starting and secondary on one team, the other half on the other. So what's good about it is it makes it real competitive. The negative would be is sometimes it can be sloppy because there's guys playing next to each other that they're not used to playing next to.
Do you expect to keep it pretty vanilla with the play calling, or are you going to open up some?
No, I don't really hide anything. Heck, these guys already have 10 years worth of films of every game we've ever played, so I don't really care about that. It's not like we save anything really. It gets a little generic just because you're playing a lot of people, and so you want stuff that they can execute.
What are you hoping to get out of this spring? Are you looking for anything specific in terms of
just high effort, really competitive, and great execution. Execution would be better if we kept the units intact, but we're willing to. But we want that as good as it could possibly be. But we're willing to sacrifice a little of that to make it competitive.
So it wasn't like the coaches had a playground style draft or anything like that?
No, because then all of a sudden there's an imbalance. We wanted. It was like really all the positions were just in half. Like the left side of the inside, the starting receivers on one half, starting on the right side on the other side.
Do you do any of those winners get steak, losers get pasta, any of those incentives?
No, but they're kind of incentivized from the standpoint we practice Tuesday.
Yeah.
So, we'll correct any execution errors and watch the film on Tuesday, and then we'll also, if there, I don't expect any, but if there's any effort concerns, we'll certainly address those too.
When did you get the idea to have that extra Tuesday practice?
After my first year at Tech. We had distracted work in our spring game, and then weren't in a position to address it. And then the other thing I didn't like, the rules were such then that we weren't allowed to watch the film. It's a key scrimmage and they could watch it on their own, but we couldn't meet with them to watch it. So we wanted to have one more practice, so one, we could watch the film, and two, so we could stoke it up. And then if you don't get, if there's somebody that you didn't get enough of a look at in the body of spring, you could do it then. And a lot of times we'll scrimmage the third group that day too at the end of practice.
So what you do on Tuesday is really dependent on how they do in the scrimmage?
And then we'll talk about anybody else we want to rep. It's still gonna, for the most part, it'll be a practice like we've been having.
What are you seeing develop out of Bender and Helinski as far as some sort of competition for service?
What's that?
What do you think is developing out of the competition between Bender and Helinski?
I think they're really even. Bender's a little more experienced, but I think they're pretty even, and it's been pretty competitive. Nobody's really gotten the upper hand. Sometimes Bender's a little more polished, perhaps because of experience. But Helinski's a smart guy, and is making up for that very quickly. They both do a good job.
You care to comment on the situation with the UCLA athletic director voting against the conference with the satellite camp stuff?
I pretty much already have. Obviously the point of view of 11 schools is is what's most important for our conference to reflect, rather than something to the contrary. But you know, and I've pretty much been saying that for a couple weeks. You know, so.